Hello everyone, Farah Hanoun here, and I'm joined by Ismail Naurdiev, who's coming off a phenomenal win just last week in a UFC Prague over Michel Prazeres. Ismail, how are you? And congratulations on the win.
Hello guys, thank you. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you feeling? It was just last weekend. How are you feeling? You must be feeling over the moon.
Yeah, really, it's so amazing. I can't describe the feeling now. I'm just so happy.
And did you get?
I'm starting to realize it now.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch the fight again? Did you talk to your coaches about it? What do you usually do after a victory?
Yes, I watched the fight again and again. Yeah, it was actually a good fight, but I wasn't prepared, for this fight. I had only 2 weeks notice for the preparation, and I don't have a coach next time we will be ready for 110%.
And when you say now that you've gone through the fight and you've watched it back, what do you feel? I mean, it was a phenomenal performance. I personally can say that, and a lot of people were very impressed, especially that you were an underdog. But I know you have very high standards for yourself. When you look back at the fight, what do you feel like you could have done differently, or what do you wish you could have done differently?
I wish I had more conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
That would help me, yeah. If I had and I injured left hand, so I couldn't box really good, because every time when I hit him with the jab, it was so hurting,
Yeah, because you had just fought literally a couple of weeks before that, right? I know it was a very quick knockout, but you had gone through a whole training camp, which means obviously you guys always have these kind of injuries that you deal with that nobody really knows about. So was this an injury you sustained? I know your last fight was less than a minute, but was it something you sustained in your last training camp, or when did this hand injury come?
Yes, exactly. It was in my last fight. I injured it a little bit, and then last weekend when I was fighting Michel Prazeres, I injured it much more.
What's the status right now? Is it something that's going to keep you out for a long time, or what's the recovery process going to be like?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's maybe just how to say it. I think it's not a bad thing. I will be back soon, very soon.
Okay, did you
just need to recover a little bit of ice, and that's it.
Okay, so did you get it checked with a doctor or anything like that?
Not yet, but I will go today or tomorrow and we'll check it. But I don't think it's a bad thing. So.
Okay, well that's great. That's great, hopefully. And in the fight, I mean, Prazeres, people kind of knew that he was going to come in with a heavy wrestling approach. Were you expecting that from him, to come and try to wrestle you the whole fight?
Yes, this was exactly what we expected from him. We knew he will come with the hooks and wrestling, and we was prepared of this. So, and I was preparing the knees for him, but it was also okay.
Yeah, and you were very close to getting him out of there. Sorry, you were very close to getting him out of there multiple times. I mean, in the third round, there was a point where he was belly down and you were punching him, and it looked like maybe the referee could jump in and stop. Did you feel like at some point that you may have been able to finish the fight? Were you disappointed that you weren't able to?
Yeah, I heard the referee. He said to him, "Prazeres, defend yourself, or I will break up." And then I was like, okay. My hand was hurting, but I thought, okay, doesn't matter. Now I have to hit him, Maybe
Yeah.
he will stop the fight. Then I hitting it. I had so much pain in my hand, and that's why I couldn't hit so hard, So I didn't hit so hard like I could do, and yeah, this was the problem with the hand.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I think I could also stop him.
And just tell me, first of all, let's rewind back a little bit. Where were you when you got the call from the UFC? What was your reaction? What were you doing exactly when they called you and said, we have a short notice fight for you, and against a guy like Michel Prazeres, who's on an 8-fight win streak?
I didn't think about the opponent or something. I was just thinking, oh my god, I'm in UFC. So it doesn't matter who the opponent is. I just wanted to fight and to show the whole world who I am.
And you had no hesitation, right? Even though you were saying you were dealing with a hand injury, you had literally just fought a couple of weeks ago. For you, there was no question to even think opponent, anything. You were just very excited to get the call, right?
Yes, of course, absolutely. Because I fought only 36 seconds.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, this was a short fight, so it doesn't matter. I can fight again. And it's UFC, It's UFC, so I wanted to use my chance,
Of course. And what was your whole experience like fighting in Prague? The crowd seemed to really get behind you. Just tell me your whole fight week experience. Did you have any nerves, or like they call them UFC jitters because it's your first fight in the UFC? Or was it like a smooth week with preparation media? Just tell me everything about the week leading up to the fight.
Yeah, the week was really, really exciting, and everything was new, I was coming and they took a pictures and photo show, video, interviews, like it was so good. I felt like in a dream,
Yeah.
It was really, really good. And before the fight, I mean, of course, everyone is nervous a little bit, every fighter, doesn't matter who. Even the fighters who telling they are not nervous, everyone is nervous. It's normal. But I can control my nervous. I can control myself, and I was really relaxed. I don't know why. I was so self-confident. I didn't think about the lose, I was so self-confident. I knew I will win, and I was so relaxed and so I felt so good. I felt just so good. And then when I was coming out to the arena and I hear the people are screaming and they are behind me, I was surprised. I thought, okay, wow. In Czechia, I know I have a fan base in Austria, but I didn't know I have a fan base in Czech, so it was really, really good for me.
Absolutely.
I felt even much better.
And you had posted, like, I think one day before the fight, time to shock the world. So you had that confidence, and you were an underdog, obviously, because you're fighting a guy who's on an 8-fight win streak in the UFC. Did you like playing that role of the underdog? Is it extra pressure, or do you enjoy that? Or did you think about that at all, that you were quite a big underdog? Maybe not many, like, casual fans would have known who you are, but you kind of introduced yourself in the perfect way, in my opinion, because a quick knockout is good, right? But you showed that you went 15 minutes with a guy like Prazeres, who's very hard to look impressive against. Prazeres is one of those guys that kind of cancels out everybody's style. So in a weird way, I mean, no one wants to go to a decision. You're a finisher and you're a great striker, but going 15 minutes, did you feel that was a very valuable experience for you in your first fight in the UFC?
Definitely. First of all, I wanted to knock him out. It was my goal. But after the fight, to be honest, I was happy that it was a unanimous decision, because I showed the whole world I dominated the whole 3 rounds, and it means much more than to get a knockout, because a knockout can get everyone. You can knock everybody out, but win by decision all 3 rounds against a fighter like Michel Prazeres, it means much more, I think. And because I was the underdog, it motivated me much more. It motivated me because I wanted to prove that I'm better than they think.
And you got to show off a lot of your wrestling. You were like kind of welcoming the wrestling. I mean, he got tired. You essentially got him tired. I know you were a little bit tired. It's a short notice fight. You didn't get the training camp you wanted. But essentially, you got him tired because he was struggling so much to get you down. And I don't think that he expected that, which you kind of welcomed the wrestling. So you got to show off that part of your game as well.
I think also he didn't expect that, because 1 year ago, no, or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I fought in England against another Brazilian guy, and I wasn't prepared for this fight because I didn't take my opponent serious. You know, I was watching his fights, and I said, oh man, he's nothing. I will knock him out. I don't need the training for him. So I was really relaxed, and that was my fault. You know, that's why he took me down and everything, and maybe Prazeres saw the fight and he was thinking, okay, he has a bad wrestling, and maybe he was surprised, you know, on this day. Actually, I'm a five-time Austrian champion in wrestling, and
Yes.
I have really good wrestling and really good grappling. I was also in American top team and trained with top Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys, and even they couldn't help me, you know. I have really good grappling, and I think they didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The best thing is to learn those valuable lessons from the past fights and to have a performance like that. What is next for you? I mean, you have a lot of momentum now, getting a win, stopping a guy on a win streak like that, a guy who's been so dominant. What's next for you? Ideally, do you have a name or an opponent that you want to fight next?
I don't have a name, but I will check first of all my hand.
Yep.
I will go to the doctor, like my manager team said, and after that we're gonna see. I hope we can fight top 15. Doesn't matter who.
And there's you're born in Russia, correct?
Yes.
There's UFC St Petersburg in April. If your hand injury isn't too serious, does that interest you, or would you rather maybe fight in front of the American fans to kind of expand on your fan base and maybe get the experience to fight in like a Vegas or a New York?
For honestly, I want to fight in much more in America than in Europe or something, because I think it will be much better for me, for the fans, and for everything else. And Sean Shelby talked with my manager, and I think he told also he wants to see me in America, so maybe we're gonna fight in America next Tuesday.
We'll see. Well, Ismail, the future is very, very bright. I appreciate your time. You're only 22 years old, which is crazy. Congratulations on the win. I really hope the hand injury isn't serious. Please keep us updated. Congratulations again on the win, and I'm very excited to see what you do next.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the interview, and thanks. Thank you so much.